morning, Fernando.
Good morning, Commissioner. Yes. Commissioner Murillo, we're waiting for Commissioner Chaparro to arrive. Let me touch base, and then we can commence the meeting.
Okay.
Haven't been able to talk to her directly to see when she's arriving. I do believe that since it's already 9:08, that we can commence the meeting and take care of some of the preliminary matters.
Yes, sir. Will do. The meeting. Ready. Now call to order. Will all of you please stand? I pledge
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Commissioner Murillo, can I bring to your attention that you're breaking up just a little bit, so if you might slow down with your comments. And we should go to the invocation at this time.
and please, yeah.
Again, Commissioner Murillo, we're having some difficulty hearing you. I'll ask our IT staff to see if they can clear that up a little bit. And,
Yes, sir.
And since we're going forward with the invocation, it's our Deputy Fire Chief, Eric Crispin, who will be rendering the invocation.
Thank you.
Yes, Commissioner. Well, no, Woody is on the line, sharing it. She's breaking out.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Commissioners. Eric Crispin, Deputy Chief. If you would, please bow your heads. O great and wonderful creator of life, nature, and this universe, known by many names and true to be above all names, we humbly come before you as a united body that proudly consider Doña County our home. We seek your blessings on the individuals who have been called to lead this great community in which we live, interact, and work for the betterment of all. Help the individuals who make up this body of leadership to understand that they must primarily seek to comprehend what is needed in many areas throughout our county, rather than persuade themselves that they truly understand the needs of those people who have placed them in these positions of governance. Because each and every one of us forgets from time to time during moments of fast-paced progress what really passes for diplomatic debate. Today, remind us all that we are primarily servants before leaders of your example, and that it is our duty to serve the common good of all persons with whom we contact. Remind each of us that no matter where we live, we must bond together to care for those who are in need or less fortunate. Provide to all that humbly seek your wisdom and courage to know and do what is honorable and just. May we speak up when it is time to speak up and listen respectfully when it is time to listen. May we always be guided by the spirit of community, the spirit of fairness, and the spirit of truthfulness, kindness, and compassion. This we pray in the name of all that we hold near to our hearts. And so let it be according to your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Crispin. So now, I wish to note for the record that Commissioner Sanchez will be unable to attend. And so may I have a roll call of commission members present and determination of quorum, please?
Commissioner Allens,
Here.
Commissioner Reynolds,
Here.
Commissioner Chaparro,
Present.
Vice Chair Murillo.
Present. Mr. Macias, is there any changes to the agenda?
Madam Chair, there are no changes to the agenda.
Thank you. So now we proceed to the pet showcase. Mr. Macias, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For those that are participating in today's meeting and those that may be viewing online, the County Commission takes advantage at every one of its meetings to advocate for the adoption of animals from the Animal Services Center. So we'll start with our cat of the week, Linda, who's 2 years old. I was brought into the Animal Services Center of the Mesilla Valley as a new mom with 2 adorable black kittens. My kittens have since found their forever homes, so now it's my turn. I am a quiet, easygoing girl who just loves getting affection. Are you looking for a constant companion who is sure to give you unconditional love? Well, I'm your cat. And again, there's opportunities for adoptions at the farmers market this coming Saturday, and there is a fabulous paw giving weekend sleepover where you can pick up a cat or an animal anytime on the 22nd or 23rd of November and then bring them back after their Thanksgiving dinner. Our dog of the week is Princess, who's 3 years old and a medium mix. I'm a sweet and gentle girl who loves being outside and even knows how to sit. I love giving kisses and receiving pets and affection. I'm good with other dogs, and I'm good with kids too. Having been at the Animal Services Center of the Mesilla Valley for almost an entire year, I'm hoping that I can find my forever home for the holidays. So again, on behalf of the County Commission, we encourage those that may be listening or viewing to consider adopting either Princess or Linda or some other animal from the Animal Services Center of the Mesilla Valley. And again, those adoption opportunities will present themselves this Saturday at the farmers market, as well as the sleepover opportunity, so you can test out a relationship with either a dog or a cat. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Macias. So now let's move on to the employee recognition. The commission will recognize Doña Ana County employees for the years of service to Doña Ana County. And we have our first individual, Lieutenant Rubens at the Detention Center of 20 years of service. Mr. Macias, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, for those of you that are here in the audience or maybe viewing, the County Commission takes advantage of, at each of its meetings, to recognize employees who have met a certain milestone in their commitment to public service on behalf of the county. And we start today, we're honored to have Lieutenant Ruben Salcido. Lieutenant Salcido joined the Doña Ana County Detention Center on the 4th of November 2002 as a detention officer. He was promoted to senior detention officer in 2003 and then went on to become sergeant in 2008. In 2014, he was promoted to lieutenant. In his current role, he leads the training department and coordinates each training academy for newly hired cadets. He thoroughly enjoys his role because his strength at work is sharing the knowledge that he has accumulated over 2 decades. His supervisor, Captain Ben Mendoza, said that Lieutenant Salcido has been the commander of the facility's Special Operations Response Team, or SORT, which again, I think that many of you may be aware, but some of you may not. That is when there is some very major incident that might occur at the detention center. Lieutenant Salcido leads the team that intervenes to bring order to whatever event might have occurred. And he's been that for several years, and his dedication to the facility is valued and recognized by all the staff. He is respected as a strong leader among his peers. Lieutenant Salcido is most proud of seeing officers he once trained grow into their careers at the detention center. He enjoys seeing the contributions they make to the team and watching them move up the ranks. Lieutenant Salcido is thankful for his work family for making the job enjoyable, giving him a reason to keep at it and to do the best job that he can each day. When not at work, he enjoys target shooting, shooting a bow, hunting, and fishing. We want to thank Lieutenant Salcido for his dedication and commitment to training new cadets. Ladies and gentlemen, please join the County Commission in congratulating Ruben Salcido for his 20 years of work and his commitment to our community and his dedicated service at the Doña Ana County Detention Center. Ladies and gentlemen, Lieutenant Ruben Salcido. I'd just like to provide a little bit of a personal testimony in terms of the professionalism of this individual. He inspires that kind of respect. He might even inspire fear among the trainees to make sure that they're in order and they're learning from his education of them. So the plaque that we're presenting for his 20-year anniversary is in appreciation for and recognition of 20 years of dedicated service to Doña Ana County on behalf of the Board of County Commissioners and County Management, his service from the 4th of November of 2002 to the 4th of November of 2022. Congratulations again. and I think some pictures with the board. As strong a leader as Lieutenant Salcido is, all he could wait for was to get out and go back to his seat. Again, we recognize our next employee with a degree of sadness, but pride, because this is a retirement after 28 years of service, Mr. Frank Dodd. Frank Dodd joined Doña County on the 26th of July of 1994. I can see that some of you weren't quite born yet, but still. And he joined the county as a rural address technician in the planning and mapping department. That same year, he was promoted to the Geographic Information System, or GIS, technician number 1. By 1997, the Community Development Department had been created, and Mr. Dodd was promoted to a mapper GIS technician. In 1998, he took on the interim role as acting GIS and mapping section supervisor. He then went on to become a GIS specialist in 1999, and both in that year and 2007, he took on the temporary assignments as the GIS administrator until those roles were actually permanently filled. In his current role as a GIS mapper analyst, Frank produces maps and maintains the GIS web pages. He even wrote a lookup application for the desktop GIS. His supervisor, who is here with us this morning, Christina Ainsworth, said that Frank is a great asset to community development team and that he would be greatly missed. Frank's team said that he is a great chef who makes mouths water at potlucks, especially with one of his specialties. I hope I pronounce this right, the De Braga Wagyu ribeye steak. Never having been invited to taste it, I'm not quite familiar with it, but often as described as a very given person who's always willing to help anyone in both small and meaningful ways. One example is, though it was the very end of the workday, he basically took out his air compressor from his vehicle, filled up the tire to help a coworker get back home to El Paso. Just an example of the generosity of his heart. Away from work, Frank is restoring a 1948 Harley Davidson and is known to enjoy a good cigar. Okay, so there's no smoking in the building, so after this, don't be going back to the office and hanging out with the people smoking cigars. Please join the commission in thanking Mr. Dodd for his commitment to his work, to our community, to 28 years of public service. Frank, just to make a personal comment, your support, your responsiveness is second to none. You've been an outstanding county employee. Ladies and gentlemen, please join the commission in recognizing Mr. Frank Dodd's service to the community. Again, Frank, it's not a fruit platter, but in honor of your service, Frank Dodd retired with distinction after 28 years of loyal service on the 30th of November of 2022. Congratulations again.
Frank, I want to add a quick personal note. First, thank you for all your service, and I have to say that he was probably one of the most important people to our ability to redistrict this last year, creating all the maps, redrawing all the maps, setting up all the precincts, and I know you didn't do that without a little bit of overtime and a lot of dedication and hard work, so we thank you for that. And enjoy your retirement. I won't call you very much, I promise.
Thank you, Commissioner Reynolds. Madam Chair, that completes our employee recognition.
Thank you, Mr. Yes. Now we move to public input. Remember that it's a 3-minute limit on the presentation and your input. Do we have anyone that would like to speak?
Again, Madam Chair, with your permission, if I could just interject that for those that are present in the audience who are here related to a specific item on the agenda, if you would please hold your comments until then. But if it's general public input not dealing with any of the items on the agenda, if they could please proceed at this time.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Beverly Hogan. I'm a resident of Doña Ana County. And I just had a question, like, where are all the SD cards from the tabulating machines at our polling places for the general election of November 8th? Where are those SD cards now? Can you assure me that they have not been wiped out? There's absolutely no reason for them to be wiped clean. They need to be preserved for at least 22 months after the election. They need to be available for an audit. If there are other elections within 22 months after that, then do as the county commissioners in Torrance County did. They immediately voted to purchase new SD cards after the sheriff seized all of their SD cards from the primary elections. There was a citizen-driven audit. It indicated anywhere from 12 to 25% of all the machine votes for Republican candidates were higher than the actual paper ballots for Republican candidates. That's why the SD cards were seized. If our Secretary of State releases election results based on the SD cards used to send our election results, then please understand again that the machine judge at Sonoma Elementary School did not leave until 9 p.m. to head down to the warehouse from the Sonoma Elementary. And the Sonoma ballots still had not been reconciled with the tabulator tapes until almost 11 p.m. Friends were texting me already that the election for governor was called before the SD cards even arrived at our warehouse, with the 1,139 votes from Sonoma Elementary. How many others across the state did that happen with? The mere fact that we are not allowed to audit the results reported against the SD cards to compare with the tabulator tapes is where our trail gets lost and there's no transparency. Please advise me how a citizen can see the SD cards matching the tabulator tapes. Will you permit me and 2 others the opportunity to view each SD card with every tabulator machine alongside the tabulator tapes? That would go a long way to ensuring transparency and preventing an immediate audit. Thank you.
Could you sign the book, please? Oh, sure. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Hi, my name is Debbie Schultz, and I served as a poll challenger at Coronado Elementary. And then after that, I went around and I looked at the tabulator tapes at numerous school locations as well as community centers. And I'm a little bit concerned at what I found. At a lot of these places, computers were left behind, printers were left behind, where's the accountability for that? I mean, didn't us taxpayers pay for that? And they're all just left behind. And I actually went around with one of the school administrators, and she said, they have to know that the children have access to these areas. So I'm just concerned that the handling of taxpayer-funded equipment is not being responsible. What's happening, you know? It was as if somebody moved out in the middle of the night and just left everything behind. And I went on Thursday and Friday, so it wasn't like the next day, it was 2 and 3 days later. And I just think that's like ridiculous. I don't know if anybody has any type of accountability for that or an answer for that, you know? Does anybody know? That's all.
Anyone else for public input?
Mark Veith, I live in the county. Transparency was one of the words that was used by the county manager to say what a great job that the poll workers did. And again, thank them for their service. But we've been bringing issues here all summer long, and we would think with transparency, we would get some kind of an input back on something of our concerns. All we got was, you people are a bunch of ignorant. That's what we got. You're ignorant. Not, this is how we're going to address those concerns. That would be transparency. I went to Germany in December of 2020, and the Germans told me that they knew that our election had been stolen. Now, they don't come from a state that's 51st in education. They understand statistics. So when you got two things that are going along like this, then there's a big gap, and all of a sudden it comes out over here and they're flip-flopped. Statistically, it's impossible. We've brought that up to you. We were assured that all the detail that goes into certifying the machines, and we brought that up, that there was faults with machines. But we got, oh, we can't expect those machines to work properly. That's what we got from the watchdog that came out of the audience. Where's the transparency? We haven't seen any yet. Remember, it's we the people. And this secular tyranny is just getting out of hand. Thank you.
Commissioners, my name is Lisa Parrott. I helped with the citizens audit where we scanned the ballots from 2020, which have since been pulped. I only did the scanning. I didn't keep the records. I didn't run the computer. But I can say with my own eyes that many of the boxes of ballots that we scanned, which had been audited by, I'm assuming, county employees with the numbers, the totals on the batches as we audited them, were way off. They were short. All three of the boxes from the county government center were short ballots, and multiple places were short ballots. I don't have the records, the facts, but with my eyes and with my hands, I ran and scanned the ballots that came up short. And that's history. It's been destroyed, but I'm sure going to be repeated. And if the will of the people comes out in an election, no one would complain. But as long as the will of the people is not felt, and most of the people feel that there has been fraud and things like that happening, then you will have people dissatisfied. The easiest way to solve that problem would be to just meet with us, sit down with us, let us work together to solve the problems. Thank you, and God bless.
Good morning, Commissioners. Mr. Manager, I spent 25 years in the Marine Corps and over 22 of those years as a defense contractor. During those years, I served as a test director for numerous flight tests and environmental testing at Wismar, Eglin, and other national test ranges. The tests demanded detailed planning, from planes to missiles to generators, porta-johns to flash drives for collecting data. We knew once a date was determined for the test, the planning was in motion to make sure the support and execution went as planned. I want to commend the clerk and her team for all the support and all the support personnel who participated for doing their jobs in this last election. Not an easy task. They knew the election date and they had an estimate number of voters. So why were there reports of poll judges at the Farm and Ranch Museum unable to check voters? Why did poll workers turn away voters? For an hour and a half, poll workers continued to turn away voters until someone arrived with the login credentials. One of the printers stopped printing due to running out of toner, and there were no backup tone cartridges. It took 2.5 hours before someone arrived, and I could go on. Was it a question of funding? Did the commission not fund the clerk enough, or did she not plan accordingly? I'm not a conspiracy artist, and I don't believe the county clerk sat in a broom closet in the basement of this building picking her favorite winners. But there needs to be an explanation for these and other anomalies. How can some simple and easily planned for anomalies not be preempted? The citizens and possibly disenfranchised voters who experience these problems deserve to know why the problems happen, and as important, what assurance do they have these same problems won't happen at the next election? We're a year away from the 2023 elections. Perhaps Commissioner Ellens, instead of excusing himself from planet Earth, should have requested an after the election report with a detailed corrective action plan that would help the community understand the problems and mitigation plans for future elections. Thank you.
Would you assign the book, please?
Fine.
Thank you.
Anyone else for public?
Madam Chair, there doesn't appear to be any other further public input.
Okay, thank you. So will we move on to staff input? Mr. Matias, do we have staff input?
Yes, we have one item, and I'm going to defer to Jamie Michael.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jamie Michael, County's Health and Human Services Department. I'm here this morning to present a letter of commendation to one of the employees in the Health and Human Services Department. So I'd like to ask Stephanie Barrera to come and stand next to me. Thank you, Stephanie. One of Stephanie's responsibilities in the department is to coordinate the county's unclaimed bodies program, and her supervisor, who isn't here today, asked me to do this on his behalf. So this is from Roberto also. He recognized that soon after taking on this new role, Stephanie went through and looked at all of the unclaimed bodies and tried to identify any of the bodies that we had, that we were storing. And she did recognize that 6 of them were connected to military service. So she got a hold of the partners with the VA that we work with. And as a result of her extra effort, 3 of those bodies will be buried in the 2023 Forgotten Heroes funeral in Santa Fe, and the other 3 are still waiting for verification. So I just wanted everybody in our community to know the work that's going on by people in the county, and really thank Stephanie for taking the extra step to help recognize these veterans and give them proper burials when appropriate. So Stephanie, this letter is for you, and thank you very much for all of your work.
Madam Chair, that completes staff input.
Thank you, Mr. Matias. We move on to county elected input. Do we have any input from any of the elected officials?
Madam Chair, there appears to be none.
Okay, thank you. Commission input. Any of our fellow commissioners have any?
I do. Madam Chair, I do. This is Commissioner Reynolds.
Okay.
You know, this is the time of giving and Thanksgiving for all the people in our county that actually need help. And I'd like to recognize some of the effort of some of the organizations. I can't remember all their names, but I got to tell you that I've been fortunate and blessed to be able to participate in giving out food and turkeys at least 3 events, and I've got a couple, 3 or 4 more that I'm going to be working. And I have to tell you that it's that kind of activity, that kind of giving that comes from the people in this county that I'm so proud of. I'm proud of Casa de Pellegrinos. The other one I think is Westway or Westview. I can't remember their name. And they've given a lot. And we've done some stuff at the county as well, and providing meals and opportunities for people at this time of the year to understand how important they are, how giving we are as a community. And I'm just so proud of everybody that does that this time of year. And so I want to, and publicly, I want to say thank you to all the organizations that actually reach out and try to help those less fortunate and recognize that they need it and we can help them. So thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other commissioners? I see none. Okay, now we go into present proclamations. Item 1, recognizing County military families. Commissioner Allens, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As a honorably discharged United States Navy lieutenant, I'm proud to have served our country, and I'm honored to bring this proclamation before you today. You know, I have this hat, and I see some like it in the audience. It says USS Bristol, DD-857. And when I wear this in public, invariably, someone will come up to me and say, "Thank you for your service." And I thank them back for their appreciation. And I understand we have some Oregon community veterans here today, as well as representatives from the VFW. I'm sorry, the VA. I'd like them to step forward if they would, as Commissioner Macias reads the proclamation. If you would come step forward.
Commissioner Ellens, if I may take just a moment as everyone is joining us up here. Again, Jamie Michael with the county's Health and Human Services Department. I really appreciate when people do recognize a veteran and thank them for their service. This group of men and women behind me, I think it's important for us to know that when we say thank you for your service, we should say it in the present tense. We should say thank you for serving, because although their shirts say the Oregon Mountain Veterans Coffee Group, they do much more than get together and have coffee, which is extremely important. Coming together and providing social support and companionship with each other is extremely important. But in addition, they also work to support their neighbors in their community. So they're continuing to serve their community and they're continuing to give back. They participate in organized cleanup events. They help neighbors if they need repairs in their homes. There's a long list of what they do to continue serving their community. So thank you for your service in the past, and thank you for your current service to your community. And I'll pass it over to the county manager. Thank you.
And Jamie, I am remiss in not recognizing that Commissioner Reynolds also served as an active duty member of the United States Air Force.
Thank you.
Madam Chairman, with your permission, proclamation. Whereas the residents of Doña County have a deep respect, admiration, and utmost gratitude for each person who has served our country in the United States Armed Forces. Their contributions are vital in maintaining and defending our freedoms and the way of life we all enjoy. And whereas tens of millions of Americans have served in the United States Armed Forces during the past century, and hundreds of thousands of brave Americans have given their lives while serving, alongside our veterans are the dedicated members of their families who understood the importance of sacrifice, honor, and duty. And whereas an estimated 200,000 service members around the nation transition to civilian communities each year, the number is expected to increase in the next few years by 20%. Regrettably, studies show that 44 to 72% of service members experience high levels of stress and are at high risk for suicide during the first year of transition out of military service. Awareness helps to ensure we provide the support veterans and their families need during this critical period. And whereas we salute and honor the service and sacrifice made by the 14,399 veterans who live throughout Doña Ana County, in our community, the Oregon Community Veterans Coffee Group is a grassroots organization that carries on the legacy of honor, service, and working together. A group of veterans meets regularly at the Oregon Community Center with a single but impactful mission: to help fellow veterans and their families when they need it the most. And whereas Doña Ana County encourages all people in our county to recognize and honor the contributions of our veterans to the principles of democracy, individual freedom, and human rights. And now, therefore, the Doña Ana County Board of Commissioners does hereby recognize Doña Ana County veterans and military families. Madam Chair, a proclamation for the consideration of the commission.
Thank you, Mr. Macias.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept this proclamation.
Madam Chair, Commissioner Reynolds has made a motion to adopt the proclamation, and a second by Commissioner Ellens.
Okay. First, motion by Commissioner Reynolds, second by Commissioner Allens. May I have a roll call on this matter, please?
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, the matter is subject to debate and comment,
Oh,
and
I'm
I
sorry.
believe that Commissioner Reynolds wishes to address the matter.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
I
you.
apologize.
Thank you, Manager Macias. Thank you, Madam Chair. You know, I have to say thank you, Len, for bringing this up. Thank you all for what you do. But, you know, when this proclamation is for military members and their families, you guys know as much as I do that our families they join service with us. When we deploy, we go to battle, whatever, they're at home taking care of business, take care of our families, waiting for us to come back home. I know you guys feel that. And then having the dedication and commitment of your families to serve with you throughout the service that we do is also an honor to have that kind of support back at home and to be able to count on that. So this proclamation is for them as well. I know it says that. I just want to reiterate that because I know how much my family means to me, at least at a time when I was serving. Would any of you like to say anything? Carl? Anybody like to say something, please?
Quickly, the Oregon Mountain Veterans Coffee Group, we, as reiterated before, we help the Township of Oregon, we help handicapped veterans, widows, neighbors who cannot do for themselves anymore. We have 6 or 8 missions this week, cleaning yards, etc. We love it. We started 8 years ago as 4 members. We were just drinking coffee and telling lies to each other. But today, we're a force to be reckoned with. And without the VFW Post 6917, who have supported us financially, and the Grace Christian Fellowship Church in Oregon, who has also helped us, with our missions. We thank them both today and always.
Thank you very much. Would anyone else like have something to say?
Go ahead, please.
Please, sir. Thank you.
Hello, I'm from the Department of Veteran Affairs here in Las Cruces and through El Paso. And I just want to say that I'm also an Air Force veteran, so thank you. I work with veterans that get in trouble with the law. And working with veterans that get in trouble with the law, a lot of times there aren't bad people. They don't know how to adjust to what has happened to them. And I always like to tell people this. Colonel Jessup from A Few Good Men, he makes some very valid points that people tend to miss. And he says that we live in a world with walls, and it takes men with guns to protect those walls. And just think about the psychology behind what happens to a person who has to defend our freedoms. They forfeit those very freedoms that they give to us. I think we always need to remember that. And we also need to remember what Colonel Jessup said, you have the liberty of not knowing what I know. And with veterans, especially combat veterans, you know, we make choices, we defend our Constitution with all that we can. And as the VA, we try to make sure we help rehabilitate not just the veteran, but the family, because the veteran is a whole. The veteran is not just a singular piece. The veteran is a part of a bigger family, a bigger community. And as long as we are able to do the work on helping them out, making sure that we reduce the homelessness, making sure that we reduce the suicide in veterans, I think we're on the right path, but we need more people to acknowledge that the veteran isn't just an individual. The veteran is a part of a whole community. And so I thank you for allowing the VA to be here and talk about this, and just thank you and thank all of you.
Thank you, sir.
My name is Montavis Price, sorry.
Thank you.
Monte. Thank you, sir. Any fellow veterans, anyone else would like to speak? No?
Madam Chair, no one is stepping forward, so I believe that.
All right. Well, I do want to say, I do not, my family is not military family. I don't have anyone that's been in the military, but I do, my hat's off to all of you that have defended our country and that have been there for us to have freedom, and that I can be able to be free. And I really thank all of you. Thank you for serving and for continuing serving, because it's a lot, you know, to help a lot of the disabled community members, veterans. It's difficult when you don't have that difference. And I really, really thank all of you for that.
Madam Chair, I believe that we can proceed to a vote on the proclamation.
Okay. May I have a vote for on this matter, please? Roll call.
Commissioner Allens? Commissioner Reynolds?
Yes.
Commissioner Chaparro?
Yes.
And Chair Murillo?
Yes. So it passes 4-0. Thank you. We have photo time, I believe.
Actually, as a group, let's move this way.
Commissioner.
No, we're trying to get just this area. So let's get everyone. trying to find the best angle.
Thank you. So we now move to the next item. Celebrate the success of the Aggie women's soccer team for the 2021-2022 season. And this is presented by Commissioner Chaparro.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we're proud to recognize the women's soccer team at New Mexico State University. As if accomplishing the winningest season in the program history wasn't enough, the Aggies won the program's first WAC championship title by knocking off #1 seed Utah Valley. In addition to the all-around great team performances throughout the season, 7 Aggie players received conference post-season awards. Loma McNeese All-WAC First Team Honors, McKenna Gottschalk, Landy Williams, Zitzali Hernandez, All-WAC Second Team, Jenna Joans, Sophia Beersworth, and Sydney Johnson, Freshman All-WAC Team. In the first round of the NCAA tournament, the Aggies fought valiantly but came up short against the home team, Mississippi State. These ladies have raised the bar for soccer at NMSU. We know that their future is bright and look forward to the kind of noise they make next year as they move from the WAC to the Conference USA. Thank you to all the Aggie fans for making this a great ride this year. To receive this proclamation, we are honored to have Robert Bartz, the head coach of the NMSU women's soccer team, members of his staff, and some players from the team. If you'll please join us at the podium to receive the proclamation. And on a personal note, all I have to say is, go Aggies. We're so proud of you, ladies. And I see the coach has this wonderful trophy. Congratulations, team. And Mr. Macias, if you would please read the proclamation.
Thank you, Madam Chair, with your permission. Whereas the hard work, dedication, sponsorship, talent, and exceptional team chemistry of the 2021-2022 NMSU's women's soccer team has propelled them to win the Western Athletic Conference Soccer Tournament Championship. And whereas after having only 2 prior winning seasons and 3 WAC tournament advancements, the Aggies are, for the first time in the school's history of the program, champions of the WAC. And whereas we applaud the leadership of head coach Rob Bartz, associate coach, head coach Miguel Guante, assistant coach D'Angelo Garcia, graduate assistant Sorena, is it Hazen? Hazen, okay. Zorena Hazen, and athletic trainer Carolyn Taylor, all teachers and staff at NMSU, the families and support systems who have been instrumental in helping these young women experience success on and off the field. We're joined here by our coaches, but also some of the members of the soccer team. I'm going to read their names, those that are here present with us, and ask them, as I read their name, if they would please just raise their hands so that they can receive that individual recognition. Haley Denman. Did I pronounce that right? Okay. Megan Sheehan. Landy Williams. Bianca Chacon. Hannah Draper. Valerie Guha. And Brooke Schultz. All right. Those are the team members. Obviously, there are other team members, but those are the team members that are here with us today. Now, therefore, the Doña Ana County Board of Commissioners does hereby recognize the 2021-2022 NMSU's women's soccer team for its historic season, conference title, and NCAA tournament advancement. Madam Chair, a proclamation for the consideration of the commission. And since we're joined by head coach Bartz, I'm sure he would like to say a few things on behalf of the team.
First of all, I just want to say thank you to all the commissioners for this moment. It's been a crazy ride. I think I can speak for all the players and our staff. You put in this work and this grind that they put in, and we tell them often how hard we are on them, and for them to receive the recognition that's happening today, and everything that's happened for the last 2 weeks has been a pretty special moment for all of us as a staff to see their blood, sweat, and tears come to fruition. And thank you so much for having us here and recognizing our school. And yeah, I'm going to second it. Go Aggies.
Congratulations to the soccer team. Well deserved. Congratulations. May I have first of all, a motion for this item, for the proclamation?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Second.
First motion by Commissioner Chaparro, second motion by Commissioner Reynolds. And if the commissioner would like to say something before our voting?
Madam Chair, if I may, besides the words I had said before, ladies, coaches, thank you so much for bringing this honor to Las Cruces. We are so proud of you, and next year we look forward to another win.
And Madam Chair, I don't know if any of the young ladies have their captain or any of their leadership members who would like to maybe address the commission.
Yes.
Ms. Williams, everybody's looking at you. Step it up, step it up.
Ms. Williams, you're the captain?
I am one of the leaders upon the women's soccer team.
Oh, yes, ma'am. You have the floor.
Commissioners, I would like to say thank you for having us. This is a great honor. We had a fantastic season. We're getting a lot of love for it. So again, I'd like to say thank you for having us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Thank you.
Madam Chair?
Yes, Commissioner, have the floor.
Yes, I do. Ladies, by the way, you probably don't know the magnitude of what you've really done yet. Probably you kind of feel it right now, but you've done the first for this state, for New Mexico State. You were the first. Okay, when you put that trophy in the case and you walk by it every day, you're going to look at that and you're going to say, you know what? We did that before anybody else was able to do it. We accomplished something no one else has done. Now, I'm not saying this to tell you about myself, except I'll say one thing. In 1969, I was on a gymnastics team in high school, okay? I know it sounds like I'm really old, which I am, but our team of 5 people brought the first state championship to our high school 52 years ago, okay? Or 54, I guess it was long time ago. The point is, we did that one time, And we were the first in our school to do that. And we're still remembered for that. You guys will always be remembered for that. Now, I challenge you to do what we did. Do it twice, because we did. We came back to next year, and we won the state again. Now, when you do it once, it's great. When you do it twice, it's a legacy. You guys have that in you. You can do that next year. You can finish this NCAA and take it anywhere you want to, as far as you can. But never forget the fact that you're the first to do this at New Mexico State, and take that with you every place you go and be proud of that. And all the dedication, hard work that the coach talked about. You know what? You don't get there easy, but I tell you what, you're going to take that pride with you for the rest of your life. You earned it. Enjoy it. Own it. Thank you.
And after the glow wears off, hit the books.
Thank you, Commissioner Allens. So now we move to the voting. May I have a roll call on this matter, please?
Commissioner Allens?
Yes.
Commissioner Reynolds?
Yes.
Commissioner Chaparro?
Yes.
Chair Murillo?
Yes. The motion passes 4-0. Thank you. Photo time. Congratulations.
You going to go down there?
The ladies look so stunning. Beautiful.
Yay.
Thank you, Paddle, for bringing this up. Next item is land exchange between Doña County and Franklin Mountain Management Incorporated. May I have a motion for this item, please?
Madam Chair, I make a motion
Yes.
that we adopt the resolution approving the land exchange between Doña County and Franklin Mountain Management.
Second.
First motion by Commissioner Reynolds, second motion by Commissioner Chaparro. Discussion. Mr. Province, you have the floor.
Good morning, Chair. Excuse me. Good morning, Chair Murillo, Commissioners. My name is Bill Province. I'm the airport manager. And before I start this, I would like to point out that the commission volunteered to give land to the for a Veterans Memorial Park at the airport. The park was dedicated on November 11th, and it's a very nice park. I encourage everyone to come down and see it. Okay. This will be a brief update on the land swap in order to be able to construct 2 warehouses near airport property. As a reminder, this is where the property is being exchanged is located. The green shaded area is currently county property, and it's just to the south of the red arrow. From the original plan as presented before this commission, the right boundary was moved slightly to the right to align Earnhardt Way extending across Airport Road. This created a second small triangle of 0.077 of an acre labeled B of county property to be part of the exchange. The exchange will now be for County Triangles B and E, for Franklin Mountain Triangles A and D. The county property is a total of 12.027 acres to be exchanged for 5.69 acres. This slide depicts the two proposed buildings to be constructed on the property. The exchange was conditionally approved by the State Board of Finance during their meeting on November 15th. Our request today is to approve a resolution that takes into account the second triangle and the adjustments to the total acreage. This resolution will supersede Resolution Doña Ana County 2022-045, agreeing to the land exchange you approved on August 23rd. Any questions for me?
Again, Madam Chair, with your permission, just to be clear, the commission has already approved previously the land exchange. If we can go back, actually, you can see it on the screen now. E, which is county property, that was already approved in a prior resolution. The matter went to the State Board of Finance. They have approved it contingent on after you had approved the original one, the property line had to be moved slightly in order to accommodate the full setting of the buildings. So it does include number B. So your action today really is only adding the property description that is represented in item B into the resolution so that we can resubmit that to the Board of Finance. They don't have to approve it again. They just have to make sure that all of their records are complete. And that's what we're asking you to do. It encompasses, it is still a very good exchange for the county. The State Board of Finance was very complimentary in terms of this, how the county is approaching this private-public partnership, but this is some cleanup that we have to submit back to the board. That is this action today.
I would also like to point out that we have two people from Franklin Mountain Management with us, Brent Harris and his son, Jason.
Would you like to say anything? Again, Madam Chair, with your permission, if Mr. Harris can address the board on the matter.
Good morning. My name is Brent Harris. I'm Chief Development Officer with Franklin Mountain. And this has been a process getting to where we are right now, but I want to thank County Manager and his team, and Bill, and everybody that's been involved in making this happen. It's taken an effort to get where we are, and we're looking forward to creating some economic development opportunities in Doña Ana County. So thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any further discussion from the board?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Commissioner Allens, you have the floor.
I would characterize this resolution as leftovers after Thanksgiving.
Before.
Any other commissioner would like before roll call? I see and hear none. May I have a roll call on this matter, please?
Commissioner Allens?
Yes.
Commissioner Reynolds?
Yes.
Commissioner Chaparro?
Yes.
Chair Murillo?
Yes. 4-0, motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Province, on your presentation. Thank you.
And just that, I will say that we're looking forward to the results we're going to get here from this. So thank you. And we appreciate the partnership.
So now we move forward to the hearing and ordinances, item number 4. We have ordinance authorizing the issuance and sale of Doña Ana County, New Mexico taxable industrial revenue bonds, Mila Solar LCC project.
Madam Chair, we still have to address item number 4.
It's amended item on the agenda. Madam Chair.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the use of GSA contract with Instant Catering Services LLC for the lease of the mobile kitchen equipment in the amount of $450,000.
Oh, I don't have that item. That's fine. I'm so sorry. On my binder, I don't have that.
The item, as Commissioner Reynolds has indicated in his motion to approve, it's using an existing GSA contract with Incident Catering Services. It's a limited liability corporation for the lease of mobile kitchen equipment in the amount of $450,000. It's item 4 on the amended agenda.
Oh, okay. I don't have the amended agenda. I apologize.
Again, I believe that there is a second that is necessary.
Second.
And there's now been a second by Commissioner Chaparro.
Oh. First motion by Commissioner Reynolds, second motion by Commissioner Chaparro. Discussion on this item, please.
Again, Mr. Brian Baker, who's our detention center director, will make some comments to the board.
Chair, commissioners, this is for the use of the mobile kitchen as part of the $1 million that was approved with the American Rescue Plan Act funds that was done back in June of 2021. We came back before you in April of this year to get the contract with ESA Construction approved and adjust the total amount of the project slightly. And when we had done that, the total amount of construction was about $777,000. That left about $233,000 left for the use of the mobile kitchen. That was going to be used to enter into a contract with Instant Catering for the mobile kitchen. And ultimately, the original amount that was negotiated was $228,940. Due to several issues that we've encountered during construction, a number of change orders are needed to complete it. These changes included above ceiling water lines, new dishwasher and area stainless steel tables, sinks and prep tables, refurbishment of the walk-in freezers and coolers, required fire suppression in the break area, exhaust hood and electrical controls to bring it to code, garbage disposals, and a number of other things that have taken up that money that was reserved for the Instant Catering mobile kitchen. And as a result, we're coming before the board because the project, because of all those changes, has needed to be extended for approximately another 5 months. And we're needing it for a time to hopefully end in March of 2023. And so the total amount is $450,000.
I have a couple of questions. Okay. First, there's a typo on the section of the, there's an extra 2 words in the discussion, executive summary of the discussion. You've got was not listed twice on the 4th line. It's duplicated. Secondly, I'd like to have Mr. Nelson, or Mr. Gooden, sorry. Are we allowed to approve a contract that's predated?
Commissioner Reynolds, I got your email and I looked this over, and so what we had in place was a contract with them that went up through October. There's a need to extend it through March, I believe what they're looking at, and so this is the process to get that done. So I think the question is because the start date on it, I think your email said November 11th or November 10th. Actually, the bid document says October 10th. So I think your question is whether or not we can approve this for the time period from October 10th until today's meeting. And the answer to that question, I believe, is yes, through a couple of different mechanisms. One of them being an urgent purchase that was needed to be done because there was an extension needed for the contract for the kitchen, because if the contract was not extended and at the time that it was expiring there, we would have been without being able to provide food to the detainees. So it is of an urgent nature, and the procurement ordinance relating to urgent purchases allow, if it's over $1,000, to go to the county manager for approval, and after the county manager approves it, it then does need to come to the board for ratification of that approval that was given. And then also, so I believe it can be done. I think we are following the process that would allow that to be done appropriately following it as an urgent purchase because of the necessity of keeping the kitchen operating to provide the food as we're required to do for the detainees. So I don't see a big problem with this.
Thank you, Mr. Gooden. I did refer to NMAC 2-2.40.2.13, which I think also covers some of it. There's one part of it I didn't totally understand, but we might talk about that later. Okay, thank you, I appreciate it. I'm done. Thank you, Mr. Baker.
Any other commissioners have any discussion on this matter?
Oh, by the way, I will say that Mr. Gooden is right. I misstated my dates in the email. Thank you for correcting that.
Okay. But any comment or a discussion? May I have a roll call on this matter?
Commissioner Allens?
Yes.
Commissioner Reynolds?
Yes.
Commissioner Chaparro?
Yes.
Chair Murillo?
Yes. Motion passes 4-0. Thank you. So, Mr. Macias, on the amended, do I go ahead and proceed with the ordinance?
Yes, ma'am. The first
Of the
item,
item 5. Okay.
and again, if you could have, ask for a motion of adoption and a second to that motion related to item number 5. And I'll just read the entirety of it. An ordinance
Yes, sir.
authorizing the issuance of the sale of Doña Ana County, New Mexico taxable industrial revenue bonds related to Milagro Solar One, again, a limited liability corporation project in a maximum principal amount of $240 million to provide funds to finance the acquisition, construction, and equipment and installation of a project to be constructed for the purpose of generating and storing electricity for an industrial revenue bond project for use by Milagro Solar One Limited Liability Corporation.
I make a motion that we approve.
So moved.
First motion by Commissioner Reynolds, second motion by Commissioner Allen. Discussion. Regina, you have the floor. Fine.
It's Ms. Ainsworth.
Thank you.
Sorry.
This item is a request to approve an ordinance for industrial revenue bonds. This is a project that will be a solar generation facility in Santa Teresa. While typically solar facilities are not, they're not the standard project that we typically approve, given that there are not substantial numbers of permanent positions that are created due to the fact that it is a renewable energy source and greatly needed to maintain the sustainability of our community and our society in general.
And if I may interrupt, I think our computers went down and the connections went down with them. Am I correct on that?
Let me investigate. Are all of your, or did it just go back up?
Just came back up. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. Given that this is a renewable energy source and something that's badly needed in our community and our society in general, we have recommended approval previously and have set a precedent of approving IRBs for solar generation facilities. This particular project will generate approximately 200 construction jobs at its peak. Construction will be about 18 months, and thereby there will not be a substantial number of permanent positions. It will generally just require maintenance on the facility. It is a 20-year term that they are requesting, which is standard for Doña Ana County in approving these types of projects. And they will provide 25% of the property tax that would have been paid in their pilot. They are also setting aside an amount for the Flood Commission. This project specifically will contribute about $15,723 yearly for the Flood Commission for the duration of the IRB. the department has recommended approval. We do have Mayura Patankar with EDF Renewables, Eddie Duffy with Sutton Thoyer Brown, Catherine McKinney with McDrawell Sperling, and Robert Burpo with First American Financial Advisors on the call as well, if there are specific questions regarding the documents or the structure of the IRB.
Madam Chair? Madam Chair?
Yes, Commissioner Reynolds, you have the floor.
Yeah, Ms. Ainsworth, you said something I thought I heard. I want to make sure I heard it correctly. You said they're going to provide the 25% of tax money in the
pilot. Yes.
Meaning that the 25% that we would normally get over a 20-year period of time, they're going to put up front.
Well, they contribute a yearly amount, and so it would be based on what the
So
assessed
it's a
tax
yearly
value would
amount
be. Yes,
that we're looking at rather, okay, not the total amount. Okay,
Correct.
that's fine. I just want to make sure that I understood it correctly. Thank you.
that's correct.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Commissioner Chaparro, you have the floor.
just because, number one, we are talking about Ms. Ainsworth, only 200 construction jobs at its peak, and then severely reducing the number of employees that can serve the facility. I know we might have a counsel, our attorney, on the line, and because we're looking at $240 million, I would just like for him to explain to the members of the public that are present how this money will impact our county in a good way.
And Madam Chair, our attorney that's on the line is Catherine McKinney from Modrell Sperling Law Firm.
Thank you, Mr. Gooden.
Thank you, Madam Chair Trujillo and members of the commission. I think the company can likely provide some additional background as far as the benefits to the county. Currently, the land that is going to be the site of the project is undeveloped land, and the county really receives minimal property taxes associated with it. So under this IRB structure, the county will receive a portion of what it would, more than it's receiving now in property taxes, as well as having a project supporting the renewable efforts.
Again, Commissioner Chaparro, perhaps the proponents of the bond would like to address your questions.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, Commissioners, my name is Eddie Duffy, and I'm counsel for Milagro, the project company. And as Catherine mentioned, one of the benefits is you do get the payments in lieu of taxes. And I think what differentiates a lot of these solar and renewable energy projects are that the dollar amounts of the projects are much, much higher than your traditional manufacturing. Often 50 million and up and into the hundreds of millions like this one. And so your 25% is calculated as a percentage of that. So it does tend to be a much bigger number than you get in the manufacturing jobs that may bring more jobs. And then one of the benefits with kind of the less jobs is they don't really tax the infrastructure that much. They wouldn't have, they're not bringing a lot of new students to the schools, or they're not really, don't tend to be very resource intensive in terms of the county having to dedicate a lot of resources to these facilities. So sort of the big benefits are usually kind of a big economic payment in lieu of taxes, and then on the kind of maintenance, and there usually don't need to be many county resources kind of dedicated, not a lot of kind of policing, because they're usually sort of out in pretty isolated areas. So tend not to use up a lot of county resources.
Chair Murillo, Commissioners, this is Rob Burpo with First American Financial Advisors. We're advisors to the firm. And one of the studies we did for you on this project is the current site generates about $1,290 a year in property taxes. That's from the county assessor's website. We did a search there. Under this project, the county will start receiving $397,900 per year for the 20-year life of the industrial revenue bond. So that's a substantial increase in the IRBs. And as Eddie mentioned, there really is not a lot of impact on the infrastructure that you're going to be seeing, and yet the school districts are going to receive roughly $172,000 a year, and the county will be receiving $210,000 per year, and the flood control authority will be receiving $15,723 a year. So as opposed to $1,290, it's a substantial increase without much impact on the infrastructure of the commission of the county.
Thank you for the explanation. You put it far better than I would have, and I wanted anyone that was watching the commission meeting to truly understand what this commission is doing and how we're moving forward on this project.
Madam Chair?
Yes, Commissioner Allens, you have the floor.
I'm glad that Commissioner Sapar raised this issue. Proposals like this are not very interesting to read. They're lengthy and they're complete with legalese, but they represent an incredible advancement in the economy of the county in the long run. So it's good that you made us aware of that.
Thank you. Any further discussion from the commission?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Commissioner.
I just want to echo what the other commissioner said. Basically, this is an investment in our future of our county. And yes, we're not going to create a lot of jobs with this project per se, but we're going to create enough energy that we can attract many other corporations and companies to the area that require the energy source that we're creating here. So I think this will lead us into the future for a lot more jobs in that area and create some place where we can attract more companies. So I thank you, and I thank the commission for this consideration.
Okay. So we have a first motion by Commissioner Reynolds and second motion. Who was the second motion?
Commissioner Allens.
Allens, okay. May I have a roll call on this matter, please?
Commissioner Allens?
Yes.
Commissioner Reynolds?
Yes.
Commissioner Chaparro?
Yes.
Chair Murillo?
Yes. Motion passes 4-0. Thank you.
This
now-
item has a ordinance number. It's
Okay.
329-2022.
And Amanda, the resolution number for the land exchange, do we have a number on that one as well?
Yes, it's 2022-72.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So now we move forward to item number 6. May I have a motion? This item.
So moved.
Second. I'm happy to read it, Mr. Macias, if you'd
Yes.
like.
Yes, Madam Chair, if I could, it's a motion to adopt an ordinance authorizing the issuance and sale of Doña Ana County, New Mexico taxable industrial revenue bonds related to La Mesa PV1, a limited liability corporation, in a maximum principal amount of $50 million to provide funds to finance the acquisition, construction, equipment, and installation of a project to be constructed for the purpose of generating and storing electricity for an industrial revenue bond project for use by La Mesa PV1 LLC.
Thank you. Ms. Ainsworth, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This project also a solar generation facility, which will be located in Vado. and the amount is $50 million. This project will also be a 20-year term and will also contribute 25% of the property tax to be abated as their pilot payment. They will also be making a contribution to the Flood Commission. That will be approximately $5,000, and I'll defer to Bob to give us more specifics on that amount. But likewise, while this project is smaller, it has an equal significant value to our community in renewable energy. And we'll be providing a source for energy that will serve our community for quite a long time. And so the department as well recommends approval, and I will turn it over for any questions.
Any discussion from the board?
Madam Chair?
Yes, Commissioner Reynolds, you have the floor.
Yeah, I would like to echo what was said in the previous bond, a couple of things, and that is that this is actually an investment in the future of our county and the need for us to have more solar energy. The other thing I think, in echoing kind of what Commissioner Chaparro said, is that we'd like the public to understand that revenue bonds actually don't require that the county pay for the bonds or pay the money. This money is actually raised and paid by the project itself. So this does not create a burden or a risk on the county in any way. Neither of these do. And I think that's something that we make sure the public understands. If we had to do this ourselves, think of it this way. If we had to fund these projects out of county money, I mean, we would be out to $300 million. And in a project like this, where it's industrial revenue bonds, then they're actually obtained by the corporation, they're paid by the corporation's taxes, and it's money that we wouldn't have to cover that infrastructure that's direly needed and sorely needed in this county for us to move forward. So, thank you, Madam Chair.
Chair Murillo, could we have Mr.
Yes.
Burpo give us a similar rendition in terms of the breakdown of the revenues that will come to the different governmental entities, just so that we have that for the record and it can be reflected in the minutes?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Chairman Murillo, Commissioners, and County Manager Macias. The project is set up where it can either have a battery component that will be included or not have a battery component. And that issue really is driven by El Paso Electric, whether they want battery as part of the deal. If the battery is in the transaction, the county will receive $41,985 a year. The school districts will receive $34,351 a year, and the Flood Control Authority will receive $5,074.11. If there are no batteries on the project, the county will receive $27,972.11 per year. The school district will receive $22,739 per year, and the flood control district will receive $3,358.78 per year.
And again, Mr. Burpo, you could reflect what is the current revenue from that piece of property.
Thank you. In our studies off of the county assessor's website, it appears that you're earning right now about $785 a year in property taxes.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Do we have further discussion on this item? I see and hear none. May I have a roll call on this matter, please?
Commissioner Ellens?
Yes.
Commissioner Reynolds?
Yes.
Commissioner Chaparro?
Yes.
Chair Murillo?
Yes. Motion passes 4-0. Thank you.
This item has an ordinance number 330-2022.
Thank you, Ms. Gomez. Thank you. Item number 6, correspondence received by Doña Ana County. Ms. Gomez, do we have any correspondence at this time?
Yes. Richard Guerra versus Doña Ana County.
Okay. Thank you. So our mission, the Board of County Commissioners at this time at 10:40. Everyone have a happy Thanksgiving and a good day. Thank you.
Thank you.